So it looks like in this chapter we've got over 800 American soldiers heading into the battlegrounds of the Culling Games, right? And this chapter, pretty straightforward chapter, but we're continuing off of the meeting between Kenjaku and basically America wanting to have a somewhat of a monopoly, or at least an early monopoly on cursed energy, right? Because they explain at the beginning of the chapter, Cyrus, which is the guy who's like the head of energy for the United States, he kind of goes on about like, either way, if we don't jump on this opportunity, it's not going to be us that does the sample research. It might be someone else. It might be somewhere in Germany. It might be somewhere in the Middle East. They will jump on it before we do if we don't act now. And he says, this isn't quote unquote kidnapping, it's protection. If we monopolize this information, we can act before any other country gets involved and protect Japan's Jujutsu sorcerers. Now, in the real world, right, Japan and America are kind of buddy-buddy, so this situation kind of makes sense. So they're basically saying, look, we monopolize the power, we get this information first, we can protect Japan's sorcerers from the predatoriness of other countries, even though America is being predatory themselves. But they're trying to come from a benevolent standpoint of, listen, give this to us first, we'll protect you. And either way, it's this unfortunate thing of either way, we have to be the first to get this before anybody else. Which, unfortunately, even with how crazy it is, it makes sense. And there's a lot of America tropes in this. I think it's kind of funny because we kind of go on with the general being like, all we'll need is like 5 dozen soldiers, and he kind of goes on this monologue about how their soldiers are the best soldiers, muscles and bullets, nothing beats those. And he just goes on this spiel, like I said, about just how they're the best and their accolades, how they're currently guarding the Oval Office right now, and that there's just nothing that can stop them. We got the CIA, we got the SAC, the world's greatest covert operation group. This is all we need. And Kenjaku easily proves that his number of 800 is what they'll at least need, because he uses Geto's ability, right? And he summons one of a cursed spirit that basically levitates them all from the building and drops all the soldiers he was talking about, and they're just all on the floor in front of them. And I don't know if they died. I mean, from that height, maybe they're at least injured. But he also shows the dog tags, and it's like, yeah, like I said, you're gonna need 800. And that's the chapter basically. It's pretty simple. But what's interesting about this is moving into a bigger deal, because at the end of this culling game, we're going to have so much death and destruction like Kenjaku was talking about. I mean, 800 like American soldiers coming into this, and who knows, we might get some American Jujutsu sorcerers, just like how there was a Morocco Jujutsu sorcerer in JJK 0, right? Miguel. And Miguel also helped Okotsu get like some of his powers back, right? And teach him a thing or two. So we're definitely going to get some American JJK sorcerers. And again, one thing I want to note that's pretty key is that Kenjaku also talks about how Gojo will be sealed on November. So he's still very confident that they will be sealed, or he will be sealed. So it's interesting. We'll really have to see where this goes, but we're definitely going to get some across the world sorcerers, I think, because the soldiers that are coming in, I don't care how strong they think they are, they're going to get destroyed. They're going to get destroyed. Simple as that. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but let me know what you guys think of this chapter, man. Pretty good chapter.